For those of you who do not know me, my name is Codi Ann Smith. I am the host of Sovereign Solutions podcast. I'm a mother of 3. I am also a spiritual lifestyle mentor for people who are ready to answer their highest calling and live a life of sovereignty. And today I wanted to give you guys 4 books that I highly recommend, especially during this time, that'll help you along your path of mastery. All right, so 2 of these books are very, very spiritual in nature, and then the other 2 are more of the science behind what we're doing here. And I find that both of them have their place, and I'm so excited to share these with you guys today. So the very first one that I've got is called The Biology of Belief. This is Dr. Bruce Lipton. He did some studies with cells down in, I think it was South America a while back, and he realized that cells actually respond to their environment. And that's like the first time that anybody has ever realized this. So he has been dedicating his entire life to explaining how our DNA and our cells actually respond to our environment, and that we are not a victim to our genes, and that we actually have the power to switch our genes on and turn our genes off based on our environment. And the environment meaning, like, it could mean even our belief systems, right? Our thoughts, our emotions, our all of that create our environment, our inner environment, and that affects our genes. So this is a really, really great book, and I highly recommend it, especially if you like the science behind things. I kind of like both. I like the science and I love the spiritual side of things, and I like to kind of mesh them together and make sense of it as a whole instead of looking at their little singular parts. And if you are somebody who likes that too, I think that you will find all of these books really, really helpful and really interesting as well. So that's the first one. And then the second one is The Art of Contemplation. Now this one's one of my all-time favorites, you guys. This is a small, tiny little thing, but it is so potent and so powerful, and it has completely helped me to walk the path of contemplation. Because at first, when I started on my spiritual journey, I thought that you just had to meditate. I didn't even know there was another path to take. I thought that you just meditated. And the problem with meditation for me particularly, not everybody, but for me, is that I dealt with so much trauma in my past and dealt with dissociation, or kind of checking out and kind of just going numb and not being attached to my body, that meditation felt like I was bypassing the things that I needed to heal, and it wasn't helpful for me. So it was really, really nice when I found contemplation. And this book teaches you how to contemplate, because it's not something that is an easy thing to explain. So this book does a really good job of that, and I'm really impressed, because when we're talking about contemplation, it is a very difficult thing to explain to the logical mind, since it's not an intellectual process, you know? So definitely check this out if you are somebody who has a really tough time with meditation. And the other thing is that a lot of us, we have too busy of lives for meditation, right? Because we don't have 10 hours a day to just sit down and meditate. We want the effects of feeling connected to spirit so that we can remain plugged in. But, however, our lives are not set up in that way. And contemplation offers us an accelerated spiritual path of ascension. At least that's how I've experienced it. So definitely check this out. I think all these books are definitely on Amazon, but definitely worth it. All right. This is another one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I've had this book for probably 2.5 years, and I've still not completed the whole thing because there's so much in here, and it just takes a lot of advanced scientific understanding of things to really grasp it. And the book is called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. Joe Dispenza is a doctor as well, and he really breaks down how the body works with energy, and how we can move energy in our bodies and how each chakra is connected to specific parts of our body. And he talks about I think a couple different chakras being like little plexuses or little brains of their own. This one's just an incredible book. And I like it because it also has stories in it, really inspirational stories about how some people have gone from like having terrible diagnoses. I don't know if I said that right, but that they've had these terrible things they've been diagnosed with and they've had no hope, you know? And so they went to Dr. Joe Dispenza, who also has healed himself because I believe he had a broken back at one point and was told that he would never ever walk again. And he tapped into this energetic world and was able to heal himself, and he walks to this day. So there's just a ton of information in here, and he's a real scientific guy. So he's done a lot of studies on what happens when people meditate and how the energy moves and changes in environments and how we can harness the energy. Just so much in that book. So again, this book is called Becoming Supernatural by Joe Dispenza. I highly recommend that one. And then I have my all-time favorite. This book, this one is so hard to even put words to because the depths of this book goes beyond words, right? It goes beyond it's wordless, it's timeless, and it's one of the most incredible books I have ever read in my entire life. And when they first when he first tried to get this book published, they told him no, that they were not going to publish it because nobody would buy it. And I think that's really inspirational too, because some guy actually ran across this book and was like, I will put my job on the line in order for this book to be published. And he did. And he told the people that he worked for, not the guy who wrote it, but the publisher guy, he told the publishing company that he worked for that he would not work there anymore if they did not publish this book. And he worked there for like 30 years or something. Anyways, this book is absolutely incredible. And it is called The Gene Keys. And now there's a whole system that goes with the gene keys. You can go get your own hologenetic profile. It's calculated by your date of birth, your time of birth, and your location. It's based on like astrology, psychology, ancient Chinese wisdom, quantum physics, epigenetics, and it is an extension from the human design. So if you've ever heard of human design, this is actually a book that has been birthed from that system. It just takes it to the next level. Now, it's titled Embracing Your Higher Purpose, and that's exactly what this book does. It shows you, especially if you go get your chart and you start to look at your life's work and you look at, well, what evolves you in life, and then you see what really radiates your vitality in the world through your radiance, and you find out what your purpose is. And each person has a gene key in each one of these specific portals of their lives. And when you get your profile and you look at your gene keys and you start to read about your gene keys and you contemplate your gene keys, then something absolutely incredible happens. Your higher purpose almost starts to just come alive inside of you. And this book also says that this is a book that speaks to your DNA. And there's no doubt about that. This book does speak to your DNA, and it's absolutely incredible. Like I said, this book, there's not even words really to explain it. Words create a barrier to the experience that you'll have when you contemplate this. I almost said read this, but that's where everything starts, is you read it and you try to understand it at a mental level. And then from there, you start to tap into the contemplation side of it, and that's when things start to come alive inside of you. Now, I do want to give you an air of caution here when you do read the gene keys, is that, when you first show up to them, they can be really exciting, and then they can also be really overwhelming. So don't think that you have to understand every little concept that you read, because it'll just cause unneeded frustration, and it'll keep you from truly experiencing the magic that lies behind each and every one of these gene keys. All right, so I could go on and on forever about that book, but I think I'm just going to end it here and say that out of all of these, that one's probably my favorite. And then the second favorite would be The Art of Contemplation. And I already kind of told you guys why I like that one. And then between Joe Dispenza's and Bruce Lipton's, it's really hard to choose. I love them both. I'd probably choose Joe Dispenza's, though. It just goes into more depth. But yeah, these books are absolutely amazing. They will help you to take you to that next level of mastery. They are time consuming to understand, but hey, we have a lot of time right now, honestly. And, it's just a great time to get some good books and to read them and to just slow down, right? The more we slow down, and I know for me, it's hard to slow down. Like, you guys can probably already pick up on that because I talk so fast. It's like sometimes my mind goes faster than my mouth can form the words. And it's like, oh, I gotta slow down. I gotta breathe. And, every single morning, I think it's important to read a book that inspires you. At least a little bit of it. Like, don't read the whole thing, obviously, but just read a little bit of it every morning just to get your vision for the world and for yourself in the world, to make that real for you, and to start jogging your imagination and tapping into the vision, right? Because we want to focus on our vision instead of getting pulled into the news and pulled into the next hot thing in the mainstream media or what people are saying to focus on now. We've got to remain in our center. And I have found that books tend to ground me. They pull me back into the present moment where I can tap into my vision and see what's true for me inside. Okay? So I never read a book and just be like, yeah, that's the end all be all. No. Sovereignty is about reading these books and then allowing your truth to come out of that. Okay? So anyways, oh my gosh, I'm going off on a tangent now. I love each and every one of you. If you guys are interested in these books, I will put the names of them down in the comments. I don't know if I can put links. I'm trying to figure out how to put links down here in the description, so bear with me. But yeah, definitely check these out. And if you guys have any books that inspire you that I didn't mention here, please post them in the comments, because I'm sure there's a ton of books out there that I haven't even discovered yet that are just waiting for me to discover, and other people too, so the more that we interact down there and share our books and our ideas and different things like that, the more we help each other. So with that being said, I'm gonna hop off of here, but I hope that you guys have an incredible rest of your day, and I will talk to you guys later.